Hi there, and welcome to week 7 here in our Social Work 502 class. And this is our final week together here in our 7-week journey. It's been a privilege and an honor to guide you through this course. And as always, if you have any questions or concerns about anything, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. So the very first thing that you want to do here in our Engage platform is to access your objectives, readings, and media for this week. So this week's reading is pretty content heavy, but as always, I want you to remember that using the DSM-5 is truly a lifelong practice. So you're going to have an entire career to be able to integrate all of the information that you're learning in this class. So I don't want you to feel overwhelmed, especially with this week with the high volume of reading that you have to do. So your first reading assignment is you're asked to read from the DSM-5 itself from pages 31 through page 86. Your second reading assignment is from our Francis text, that is the Essentials of Psychiatric Diagnoses. You're going to read chapter 2, which is all about neurodevelopmental disorders, chapter 10, which is about neurocognitive disorders, chapter 11, which is about personality disorders, chapter 12, which is all about impulse control, chapter 13, which covers eating disorders, and chapter 15, which is all about gender disorders. And I have here for you some optional reading. I know that your time is precious, you're busy, you're juggling a lot of different things. So even if you're not able to get to these readings this week, I highly encourage you to download the readings so you'll be able to access them and read them perhaps when you're done school or you have a break or you have some more time. These are great articles that'll really help you get a deeper understanding of some of the course readings that we're doing this week. So as you can see here, we have several discussion board postings that are due for this week. I neglected to mention a very important resource that you need to review for this week, and that is the Week 7 video. So you want to make sure that you're watching the movie Kinky Boots, because there is a discussion board post all about the movie. So if you have Amazon Prime, you can watch it for free by clicking this link here and searching Kinky Boots in the search bar at the top of the screen. You can also rent this from Google Play as well as from iTunes. So as I said, you have several discussion board posts here. There's 6 to be precise. The very first thing that you want to do is come to the platform and post your condition presentation here. So only one member of each group is asked to post the group's presentation in this forum. So again, both people do not need to be posting it here. So obviously, if you worked alone, you would be responsible for posting just your part of the discussion board. If you have any questions about this, again, don't hesitate to reach out. For the second Week 7 discussion board posting, we're going to be exploring socially constructed disorders. So considering these socially constructed disorders, that is ADD, ADHD, personality disorders, and impulse control disorders, please complete the following for your initial post. I'd like you to first describe what you learned from each of the related presentations that you've watched from your colleagues here that have posted. And then in the second part of this assignment, I'd like you to discuss one of the following challenges for these diagnostic categories. So you want to make sure that you're using the chosen challenge as the heading for your post in this forum. So please make sure that you're choosing a different challenge than what you've chosen for other forums. So these subsequent discussion board posts are going to be pretty similar in format. So again, you're just choosing one of these. So the choices are cultural influences, so they're diagnostic fads or under-diagnosing of conditions, genders, stigmas, etc. Or you can choose overlapping symptoms. So you want to consider the overlap of symptoms between diagnoses within these categories. So how could you navigate this overlap in order to make an accurate diagnosis here? So your third choice would be diagnostic overshadowing. So how could diagnostic overshadowing, that is when one diagnosis becomes the explanation for all of the person's symptoms, rather than exploring how the person's might have co-occurring conditions. So an example of that would be if you were working with someone who had major depressive disorder and also had post-traumatic stress disorder. So perhaps maybe they're having lots of hyperarousal, they're having lots of ruminations, they're having lots of avoidant behavior, flashbacks, flooding, those kinds of things, that it is perhaps masking or overshadowing some of the depressive symptoms that you may see with this client. Another topic here that you may choose to explore is special populations. So how do special populations, that would be older adults, nonverbal clients, children, adolescents, immigrants, present issues in assessment and diagnoses for these categories? And then your final choice would be diagnostic reliability. So if you choose this one, you want to explore what factors might influence the reliability of diagnoses in these categories. So for your third week 7 discussion board post, you're going to be exploring eating disorders. So you're going to review the presentations about eating disorders, so that includes anorexia, bulimia, and binge eating disorders, and describe what you learned from each of these presentations. And then for the second part, similar to the one that you just did, you're going to discuss one of the following challenges for this diagnostic category. So again, just like you did in the last post, you're going to be using the chosen challenge as the heading for your post in this forum. So please choose a different challenge than what you chose previously in the last one. So again, the choices are cultural influences, or overlapping symptoms, or diagnostic overshadowing, or perhaps you want to peruse special populations, or diagnostic reliability. So for your fourth week 7 discussion board post, we're going to be discussing neurocognitive disorders. So you're going to be watching all of your colleagues' presentations about neurocognitive disorders and describing what you learned from each of your colleagues' presentations. And then just like you did in the previous 2 discussion board posts, you're going to be discussing 2 of the following challenges regarding neurocognitive disorders. So you can choose cultural influences, or overlapping symptoms, or diagnostic overshadowing, or special populations, or diagnostic reliability. So for this week 7 discussion board posting, we're going to be exploring neurodevelopmental disorders, and after reviewing all of your colleagues' presentations about the neurodevelopmental disorders from the DSM-5 that we've chosen to peruse this week, you're going to describe what you learned from each of your colleagues' presentation first and foremost, and then just like you did in the other posts, you're going to choose one of the following challenges from this diagnostic category of neurodevelopmental disorders. You're remembering you're using the chosen challenge as the heading for your post in this forum, and please remember to choose a different challenge than what you've chosen in the other forums. So again, just as in the other postings, your choices are cultural influences, or overlapping symptoms, or diagnostic overshadowing, or special populations, or diagnostic reliability. So you're remembering that in all of these posts where you're choosing one of the following challenges, you are not required to respond to your peers. Of course, I encourage you to do so if you have something positive to say or some constructive feedback to offer one of your colleagues, but it's absolutely not required. So for your final week 7 discussion board post, our topic is gender disorder. So you're going to want to watch the movie Kinky Boots, as we discussed previously, and you're going to be discussing the implications of making a gender-related diagnosis. So, appropriate things that you might want to explore here would be stigma. You could talk about maybe some things that you noted diagnostically that you may not have noted before after you watch the movie Kinky Boots, things that you've learned from this class, different clinical language, That would definitely be something to explore related to making a gender diagnosis. And again, you're encouraged to respond to your peers, but you're certainly not required to do so. So that summarizes everything for this course. Again, it has been a privilege and an honor taking this 7-week journey along with you. I encourage you to complete the course evaluation survey here. Your feedback is really important here at Widener, and it's honored. And I've seen courses they've been changed based on feedback that students have given. So I encourage you to complete the course evaluation, and I hope that you have a terrific remainder of the summer.